Okay, so most of us by now have all gotten a chance to play a decent amount of Overwatch 2 since its release, and honestly, I'm really captivated with the content. I'm really excited and looking forward to the future of Overwatch 2, but there's just one question that's really bugging me. Is one hero enough every other season to keep us engaged enough to want to continue playing Overwatch 2. I know a new hero isn't everything, but it is a decent part of the game. It's a decent chunk of the game, and I personally think that one hero every other season might not be enough. And at its core, this is a lack of content issue, not necessarily a lack of heroes issue. But when you couple in heroes being a part of the main content that they're providing for us in Overwatch 2, it does become the focal point. And I think that later down the line, when we actually get the full release of Overwatch 2 and the PvE content comes out, we're going to have a couple of surprises and a lot more content to kind of draw the curtain back and take away from getting a hero every 18 weeks rather than every 9. Every 9 is actually really fast, so I don't necessarily think that we need a new hero every 9 weeks, but for a new hero every 18 weeks, it feels very long and very drawn out because we're not receiving many forms of different content. When we're not receiving different content and all we have is a battle pass and a store rotation, it's just not enough to keep the player engaged and want to play, specifically if balance isn't fixed either. If all we have is an online aspect of Overwatch and it's not even fully balanced and we're not receiving content outside of the battle pass and outside of the shop in the form of in-game progression, 18 weeks is far too long to receive the main content drop. And I know most of you are saying, well, we get a map every other season as well, and that's not enough either, at least not in my book. And it might sound like I'm being really harsh right now, but really, I'm just holding Overwatch 2 to its own standards, to its own expectations. These are the things that we were promised. We were promised a large amount of heroes dumped on us when Overwatch 2 releases to shake up the game and give us a feeling like we received when we first played Overwatch when we had all of those brand new heroes to play. They didn't do that, and PvE hasn't even released. There's so much more and so much potential that Overwatch 2 is holding behind the closed curtain that we haven't been able to see yet. We really need to get a trailer or a good idea from a developer update on what PvE is going to bring to the table. But putting PvE to the side, a core issue with Overwatch is a lack of heroes overall. And there is a big chance that when we do get PvE, they will drop some heroes on us to boost up the hero level of Overwatch 2 as a whole. This would be huge, alongside with potentially getting loot boxes as well, but that's a different story. More heroes in a game that is always centered around heroes, specifically on the online portion, really stays alive longer when you can incorporate those heroes quicker, make them better overall, and make the game fully balanced. The PvE side when it comes to heroes is an entirely different story altogether, since there's so much more that they can do when it comes to heroes that are going to be going through an RPG pipeline through Blizzard rather than a player versus player experience. And of course, it's not just about heroes overall, it's about heroes in specific classes, specific sections. We don't need any more damage heroes, we need more tanks and we need more supports. And yes, Blizzard has come out and said that they're going to be doing that for us. We're not going to be getting any more damage heroes for a while before some of those positions are filled and filled up in other classes, which is really big for us because one of the biggest things in Overwatch is how bad supports are. Not how bad the heroes are, but how bad the support role plays. So the way to change the support role rather than just doing a big change across the board is to slowly implement new heroes over time in the support section that are going to change the support section just because of how they play versus how the old heroes play in the support section. If they go down this route, then maybe the support class doesn't need to be changed as a whole, it doesn't need to be reworked as a whole. The newer heroes can kind of fill in the rework that they want to do while they slowly change and rework the old heroes that we've had since the beginning of Overwatch 1. At least the ones that do need rework, because there are a lot of support heroes that are just fine the way they are, play really well in Overwatch 2, and my biggest example that I could give you guys is Mercy. Mercy's really fun to play right now. You can just do a lot with her. She's not the best hero to play when it comes to support, but she's definitely a hero that just feels like she has a good kit. She feels very fun to play and very satisfying when you can play her correctly. hopefully. But if this is the case for PvE, and that is something that they do, they give us some more heroes, they give us some more content. When it comes to getting a hero every other season and it being an 18-week gap, it might give them a lot more time to add balance and add changes once we do get a large hero drop from the PvE side of Overwatch. It would make sense that they set this up for the future. They give themselves time for balance and they do give us some more heroes all at once. And if you go back and you look at the trailers, they even say in the announcements that they might give us more than one hero every other season, meaning we could get 2, we could get 3, or we could actually get a lot of heroes releasing when that PvE drops. And I do think that Overwatch 2 is in a fantastic position right now. The gameplay is really good, even if the balance isn't perfect. I like the battle pass. Honestly, I like the shop. The prices are just too high. I think that a lot of the skins that we've been getting for certain heroes are really high end as well. A lot of what the Overwatch 2 community wants is the PvE content that was promised. We want what Overwatch 2 was supposed to be. This is entirely different than what was planned in the first place, and it's working for them so far. They've had a lot of new players, and it's been really good for the game. There's been a lot of issues, of course, but we are now riding on 2023. It's going to be 2023 very soon, and early 2023 is going to be when PvE drops. So I'm hoping either Season 3 or Season 4 is when we're finally going to be getting PvE, and when we're finally going to be getting all of that Overwatch 2 content they've been working on for years and years. But hey, that's just what I'm thinking, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think we need more heroes overall in Overwatch, and do you think PvE is going to give us some of those new heroes when it finally drops? Put it in the comments below and let me know what you think. As always, everyone, thanks for checking out the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Flash out. Of course.